Yeah, it looks like we're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Back in the studio, guys.
Little potty talk. We got a big surprise today.
Our first guest.
First guest.
Let's I'll give it up for Aiden. Let's
Come on in, Aiden. What's up? All right, so the three of us work together. That's how we know each other. And yeah, we're all representing kind of different walks of life, different mentalities and perspectives. So Aiden, can you tell us a little about yourself, please?
So I'm Aiden. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, up in the mountains.
Okay.
Work at Trader Joe's. You know, computer science major, married at 18. We're gonna get into that later. That's about it.
Okay.
So
yeah, Asheville, computer science, married, 18. Yeah, those are fascinating things.
Yeah.
But you're a sophomore in college.
Yes. I did my senior and junior year of high school in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So,
And this was in Asheville.
yes.
Okay.
But it was an online program.
Big brain mentality.
Big brains, love that. So yeah, like what, I don't know, what do you think about life? Like you seem to me a really well-adjusted person.
Yeah. I'd say I've seen more life than most 18-year-olds have, I think.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of different things.
In a good way?
And mostly in a bad way, but also in some good ways. So, I don't know, what I think about life is a very broad question.
Right. So I will say that that's kind of my Trojan horse. Like everybody asks me what the podcast is about, and I'm like, I'm looking for the meaning of life. And every time we have a guest, I want to be like, what do you think the meaning of life is? So
I think it's the meaning is whatever you think it is, in my opinion. Whatever you make it to be.
What do you think it is?
I don't know if I quite know. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I think I'm still looking.
Right, and that makes sense because
Yeah.
even if you are, a smart guy and advanced potentially, if we want to say advanced for your age, you're young and you're humble, and it's like we have a lot more to go.
For sure.
Do you think no one really quite knows and that everyone is still looking?
I think we are all guessing and being as confident as we can in our guesses to make everyone else think we know what we're
Educated
talking about.
hypothesis.
Yeah.
All right.
Making gestures in the cosmos.
Yeah.
Floating around.
Before we get way off in outer space, let's talk about how we get to outer space, which is technology.
Like Rick and Morty, they just take the UFO ship and it's like, oh, Rick, gonna go get my ship. Oh, geez, Rick, we're going. Meow.
Oh, Jackson, I love you, dude. Okay, but you're a computer science guy.
Computer science, yeah. So it's interesting because we did go to space for the moon with Apollo way back in what was it, the 60s?
I think 69. We landed on the moon.
69, yeah. And that was...
We weren't even born.
The computer for that was a crap computer.
Wasn't it less than a smartwatch?
Way less than a smartwatch.
Yeah, that's
less
crazy.
than the first cell phone. Yeah.
The entire human race.
I don't know if you know about Raspberry Pi, but it's this company that makes microcomputers. And they have this one that's the Pi Zero, which is this big. It's 100 times more powerful than the computer.
So that's what you get for gaming.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you can, actually.
Does it have RGB?
No. Yeah, sorry.
So I don't know. What do you think about the future and singularity? What do you think about humans and robots and how we're becoming robots kind of?
AI is becoming really advanced. We've had a lot of AI art, which is one of the first place in a worldwide art competition recently. And people were very angry about that.
Judged by humans?
Yes.
Okay.
Judged by humans. They didn't know it was an AI because the guy submitted it under his own name. It was made by an AI.
Oh, no way.
And it's a crazy cool painting. it looks so cool.
So the AI painted them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it looked like
the guy entered in a prompt and it painted it.
Okay.
And it's like this looks like a big portal with these guys in robes standing around. It looks like a Renaissance painting.
Wow.
That's
okay.
Yeah. But it kind of caused an uproar. What if AI can do this? What else can they do that we don't know about?
Right.
Because they say the military is always 50 years ahead of what the citizens know about. So who knows?
That's fascinating.
Maybe we'll plug that link try and find that and plug that in the description of this video.
There it is.
We'll
Yeah.
actually
have it show up on the screen.
Yeah. So check the top of the screen, guys. If we know how to do that, we'll see.
Jackson's really challenging me on my editing skills out here.
I'll just be enjoying like
we should
my
green screen it
breathable
in
and
the background right now.
What?
You should green screen it right now.
Yeah, just checking on the green screen.
Also, a little bit beyond my skills. We had a few weeks of that in film school, but like I didn't pay much attention at that time.
I mean, considering we got microphones, you guys can't see it, but trust me, we got microphones here, and we don't know how to use it. We're just doing raw footage on the phone.
They've seen the headsets and like the cords. That
So we had so
using.
much technology we could be using, but we have our technology guru here, so guys,
we should look at it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
We're gonna have you go ham on that technology stuff.
All right, Aiden, to bring it back home a little bit, I'm curious about what you think, like Asheville, like how the setting of Asheville like informed your upbringing, and you know how you might be more accelerated or mature or educated.
Yeah, so that's an interesting topic because I was born in Asheville and then I ended up moving to Charleston for
South Carolina.
Charleston, South Carolina for like 8 years, and so from when I was about, I think it was 8 to 13.
Okay.
So not quite 8 years, but for a while I was in Charleston. That was kind of my formative years.
Right.
But I also don't remember a lot of it because there was a lot going on in the family.
Yeah.
So I've like blocked most of it out. So I mean, Asheville's definitely given me, I guess, creative freedom is what I feel like. And like
It's a creative town.
It's a very creative town.
It is.
Like there's a lot of art everywhere, and I tried to get into art, like painting and stuff. I'm not very good at it. I like sculpting and like pottery. That's pretty fun.
Nice.
But then I guess creativity with computers was what kind of got my attention. So being able to create problems and solve them is kind of the whole point of computer science. So I'd say that's where I ended up. That's
so you're the one creating the problem?
I mean, you inadvertently, yes. There's a bunch of problems, you got to fix them, and then that makes more problems, which you have to fix. And that's the job. So
that's the job.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with computer science?
I'm not completely sure. I've looked at robotics. I think that's really, really interesting.
Oh, like Legos.
Yeah.
The techniques.
I was in a robotics club in middle school.
All right,
but
that's cool.
Yeah, either robotics or back-end development. So there's front-end and back-end. Front-end is like websites and user interface, and then back-end is what makes it work. I'm not too interested in front-end because it's very graphic design-esque, and I'm not a big fan. I'm not very graphically minded, so.
It's so funny how design means so many things now.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, I design furniture. Oh, I design websites. Oh, like I actually am a coder. Yeah. I'm a landscaper. That's so funny.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't think I could deal with clients being like, hey, I want my website to look like this, and then I have to try to emulate what they want.
Yeah. Especially if they can't describe it.
Yeah.
That's
or they don't
hard.
know what I can and can't do. So.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Have we eased enough into this to where we start talking about marriage and
Sure.
Because we got 2 bachelors here.
Yeah, we're not married.
And I'm married.
And you're the youngest of us.
I am.
So like that's a pretty sweet irony, I would say.
Yes, definitely.
So how long have you known your wife? Is it a wife? I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Going on 4 years now. 4 years in March.
Okay.
So we got together freshman year of high school.
Wait, so you've been married 4 years?
No, I've been married since May.
Day
after my 18th birthday.
Congratulations! Oh wow! Congratulations! That's
The
amazing.
day after?
Yes.
Is she older than you?
8 months older.
8 months older
So
than
she's
you.
19.
She's 19 currently.
Yes.
And then you're turning 19 in May.
Yes.
There it is.
You got it.
And you might be done with sophomore year by the time you turn 19, huh?
I will be, yeah.
Okay, so here's something fun. I was never 18 in college.
Really?
Because I went to a school that started in late September on quarters and trimesters, not semesters. And my birthday is early September. So I turned 19 and then went to freshman year of college. So, yeah. Okay, so you got married the day after you turned 18. Was that like obviously a legal thing?
Yeah, because we couldn't have done it before, really,
Right.
without parents signing off. That was too complicated.
You could have been a child groom.
That's true.
A child
I
groom.
could have.
That would be
Yes.
wild.
Yeah, we didn't actually have a wedding. We had a reception.
Okay.
What's the difference?
So there wasn't any ceremony. So like,
Like you don't dance or anything?
no, you do dance. That's the reception. But
Wait, so you didn't have a reception?
we did. The ceremony is where like
So you
she
never-
walks down the aisle and then you say your vows.
So you didn't get married?
No, I did in a courtroom. Yeah.
Did you dance in the courtroom?
No.
Just a quick little 2-step. That's all they did.
There's a video of it somewhere, but I've tried to get it deleted.
Oh, wow.
I don't want it.
We don't want the state to have evidence.
Yeah.
Get the evidence out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So courthouse, courtroom,
Yes.
wedding, marriage.
Yes.
Like certification.
Yeah.
And
We
then
did have to say vows.
And then you went and danced somewhere else.
So the courtroom wedding was the day after my birthday, and then our reception was a month later.
Oh, nice.
At a venue. So that was a whole different.
Well, summer party.
It was basically just party.
Heck yeah.
That was
Non-alcoholic party.
Yeah.
Cool.
No alcohol.
That's good.
For anybody?
No.
Wow.
Because my mom.
Okay. She's
yeah.
straight edge?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Quite.
Yeah. Actually, since
and my dad's an alcoholic, so
okay.
you know.
There it is.
You know.
Was he there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Interesting.
was. Yeah.
Interesting.
With his, I guess his now third wife.
Lady friend.
Yeah.
Possible third wife.
Yeah.
Definite lady friend.
Yes.
Possible
for
third
sure.
wife.
Very weird. Make out in front of people. Lady friend.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sober.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Or drunk.
He takes off her shoes and socks at at restaurants and massages her feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
wow.
fascinating.
Quite the
That
scene.
is like
something.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can smile about it.
Mhm.
Like I'm definitely laughing
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Like that is true like comedy. Like
It
yeah,
is.
We can't
It's
change
like a
this.
sitcom, yeah.
Right, we
The
can't
awkward
change these
turtle.
people, so
You're just
we'll
like-
laugh about it.
Where's my Sprite?
Where's the Sprite, dude? Awkward turtle needs a Sprite.
I do.
I mean, or a Sprite. It's a Sprite. Don't sue us, Coca-Cola. Don't sue us, even though Jackson would like some product placement, compensation possibly.
Yeah.
Jackson's
I
out
paid
there.
$1.75 for this. Feel free to give me $1.80.
There it is. Jackson's on that soda hustle.
5-cent sponsor.
The 5-cent
That's
sponsor.
a good price.
5-cent sponsor.
Yes.
Woo! All right, I think we'll put you down low there, dude.
All right.
Keep you on deck.
Keep me honest.
Okay. Since we were talking about substances and being goofy and
yes.
wacky, I'm curious to hear your take about not wanting to indulge in substances until certain life milestones or
I guess they say that your brain stops developing at 25, and so there's a lot of research going on about if substances affect your brain before it's done developing. They're not very conclusive, so kind of just want to be careful,
Right.
Just be careful. I don't know what it would do or could do, so.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
I might be sorry because, I wasn't like a heavy drinker and partier in high school.
Yeah.
But then in college, starting around the age of 19 or 20, I started, pretty aggressively drinking with the rest of my friends.
Yeah.
We'd smoke weed every now and again. I actually do still feel sharp. But really the worst part is I can look at my 20s and be like, oh man, a lot of that is just kind of wasted time.
Kind of a haze.
But yeah, I am curious to see
it's not my sole reason either. I mean, addiction runs so strong in my family. That's kind of that's really the main reason. But that's kind of a supporting.
You want to break the stigma.
Yeah.
All right.
And the cycle.
The cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be the outlier, not the instigator.
Exactly.
So if I can put my grandfather on blast,
I
heard a funny ass story a few years ago about how he used to drink. I guess before he had my dad, aunts and uncles, aunts and uncle. But then him and his wife were my grandma were on an army base because he was 18, 19, 20, something like that. They were married, so she got to live with him. And I think he essentially got blackout drunk one night.
Oh, wow.
And he threw up on the wall, in the bed and the wall. Yeah. And he was like, all right, now you clean it up, help me clean it up. And she was just like, no, you got drunk, you did this. I'm not cleaning anything for you. And then he stopped drinking after that episode.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's also goofy to think of getting to that point. And I've always known him as a non-drinker.
Yeah.
And it's oh no, he used to drink.
Yeah, and you're I'm done.
But I mean, it was just throw up on the wall. It wasn't anything too serious.
No
some
one
people
died.
Didn't
yeah.
hurt someone. It wasn't a drunk driving accident.
Exactly.
Right. And you're right. No real damage beyond.
So, it was just a little paper cut, and it's boom.
Good point. Good point.
So,
but yeah, it is funny because also
no, that's a funny story of it. That's good. We like that.
Right. Again, going to the comedy.
Yeah.
I don't think Poppy is going to be appreciative of that, but I don't think he's ever going to see this video. So
If he does, hey Poppy.
Hey Poppy, what's up?
Big Poppy.
Poppy. Poppy likes to fish, so he might stumble.
Okay.
He might stumble on the Griddy fish, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, him and I can talk fishing. We can have him
Bring
on
him
the
on the
top.
show.
Yeah,
Poppy.
be like, yo,
Poppy talk, dude.
Poppy talk.
Poppy
On the
talk.
Poddy talk about the fish with the Griddy fish.
With the Griddy fish.
Full circle. All in one.
Okay. We did get some requests for like longer episodes, so
Okay.
I'm feeling some good, you know,
Yeah.
energy and journey with this conversation. I do want to go back to the marriage thing because, like, what's your perspective on marriage? Like, why did you want to get married?
Yeah, marriage is an interesting thing for me. I'm not really big on marriage. Like, it's not something I really. It's not like I wanted to get married. It was more out of convenience, which
Okay.
sounds kind of terrible.
Eh.
Obviously, we love each other. Like, but
Right.
if I would have had the same exact outcome waiting until after college, I would have waited. But we
Okay.
got financial aid,
Yeah.
like financial aid from the government was
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah.
And then overall, like, her family's very, very religious, and so
Okay.
the whole stigma around like you need to wait till marriage for anything
Right.
is very strong. And so her mom's very supportive of, if you get married, then I don't care anymore. And so
Right.
we did.
Okay, so I imagine this might be a personal question
Uh-huh.
and you know, off limits potentially. But did y'all wait until marriage for
No.
sex? Okay. I
We
mean,
wait 2 years.
we waited 2 years. I mean, that's valiant. That's yeah, like it's weird to think of, like, especially teenage relationships and like
Yes.
what the scope of time can be.
I don't think I was mature enough when we first got together.
Yeah, no. So I had a pretty serious girlfriend, like serious girlfriend, my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And like we didn't have sex, and like obviously that's a big thing. I think we were together like 13, 14 months, something like
Yeah.
that. And like, you know, there's a certain point where like that conversation becomes frictional.
Yeah.
And like, you know, of course, like a horny 14, 15-year-old boy like wants to have sex, but it's like I'm so thankful like I didn't have sex at that
Yeah.
age because like you're already so one-track minded
That
about
was,
it.
yeah, that was the thing. We wanted to be sure that, I mean,
This was
at the
right.
2 year point, we were pretty sure that it was going to last. So
Right.
then we felt comfortable enough,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, dude, that's beautiful. Like, I hope, you know, y'all found that beautiful love that, like,
Yeah.
you can sustain through a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think you're mature enough, despite your youth, to, like, know that, like, 25
Yeah.
is going to be different, and 32
Yeah.
is going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
different, and
we've-
40, and 50. And,
I think we are both completely different people than when we got together.
Oh, wow.
And we've changed,
In a
I'd
good
say 3
way?
times. In a good way.
Yeah,
In a very good way, yeah. We
you're maturing and progressing.
yes, but we are maturing together instead of apart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
beautiful. So how did y'all meet?
We met in ceramics class in 9th grade.
Pottery,
Back to the
dude,
pottery.
pottery.
Yeah.
Yep. And my art teacher at the time, Mrs. Edwards, Zoe joined the class. She like joined a couple months into the semester,
Okay.
like a transfer. And my Mrs. Edwards insisted that I teach Zoe how to throw a pot on the wheel, and I would not do it.
Aren't you glad you did?
No, I didn't do it.
Oh.
I was way too scared. But she
Attracted to her? Or
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. That, I mean, in hindsight, yes,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Okay.
But I was just nervous.
And how old were you?
I was, oh man, I think I was 13.
Wow.
No, maybe I was 14.
Okay, but you were at the very earliest stage of teenagehood.
Yes.
That's
I'm trying to think. It was February, so she got there in the fall. I would
Okay.
have turned. I can't remember. I think it was 14.
So what grade were you?
9th grade.
You were in 9th grade, but you were also like a really young 9th grader.
I was
Like,
I was one of the youngest.
okay,
Yeah.
so you're already pretty young because of May,
Yes.
and then you did years,
Uh-huh.
a couple of years in
2
how-
years and 1.
2 years in one. Okay.
So yeah.
Wow, dude,
That's fascinating.
that is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
interesting because now that I was originally a nursing major and then
Okay.
I switched to
Oh, you were.
biology. Huh?
You were?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got into the school and then I turned it down. So I went from nursing to biology to computer science, and now that I'm in computer science and I have all these nursing prerequisites, I'm going to have to take basically an extra year of college. So I'm just going to be back to where I was.
Okay. Okay. So I know some things about you from working with you a couple
Yes.
months now, and if we don't want to talk about you leaving Wilmington potentially, we don't have to. But
No,
you,
yeah.
you are on a different like a
Yes.
trajectory out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like transferring from here to Raleigh, I have to take way more math than I would have to here.
To go to NC State.
Yes.
Okay.
So NC State for their computer science program, which is, I mean, they're one of like the higher engineering schools, and computer science is an engineering degree.
Yeah.
And so I have to go through calculus 3 and then discrete math and then physics 1 and 2 based in calculus.
Yeah.
UNCW is just calculus 1 and 2, that's it. And
Yeah.
then you can do all the computer science classes.
I
So
can totally chill here.
so I've literally got at least, if I'm doing 2 of those classes per semester, an extra year.
Yeah.
Of just math.
Just math.
stuff.
Just math. Just
Yeah.
some math.
Yeah.
Do you like math?
Some light
I do,
work.
yeah.
Okay.
I do once I understand it, but I have to boil it down to how it got to that point. If that makes sense. Like, I can't just memorize like an algorithm. I have to see
Right.
how it got to be that way.
So honestly, I'm kind of discovering that might be part of why, like, you know, I have an affinity with you.
Yes.
Because I feel like you and I might have similar minds. So you're 18, turning 19 in
May.
like 6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was 17, turning 18, senior year of high school, I learned calculus. Like, you know, I took calculus that year. And like I didn't pay attention the second semester because I was just like front loading the first semester of like that's the cash cow.
Yeah. Then you get in like trigonometry and you're like, I don't really know.
Right, yeah. And it's like, oh, this is why we had pre-cal, but also
Yeah.
like at the time I didn't understand what pre-cal was for.
Exactly.
And so like that was the thing is like I can't just memorize these
I was
like
15 taking pre-cal,
Yeah.
so I didn't care.
yeah. So I think we've stumbled into an interesting conversation, and I think you're again I think you're a humble guy and pretty modest, so I think you might deflect a bit.
Okay.
But it's occurring to me that you might be a genius.
Okay.
And like what do
I'm
you,
going to deflect this.
right, exactly. Like, but what do you think about like genius? And I don't know, like.
I think there's a lot of different types of genius for sure. I'd say I'm pretty good at the sciences. I don't know if I don't know. I think I don't have the discipline to be considered a genius. I'm working on that.
Okay.
But I guess if you think that genius is something you're born with, then I could think about it.
Naturally smart.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating
Yeah.
discrepancy.
Yeah.
Whether genius is like a natural spark or it's something you attain through like training and discipline and commitment.
Yeah.
I think like anything, like I think it's like being a master, but of like learning is a genius.
Yes.
So I mean, it's like you can be like some people are just naturally athletic. Some people have to work their butts off to be athletic.
Yes.
So I think you can be a natural genius or a trained
Right.
genius.
Yeah.
Like anything, you can get good at if you want to.
If you want to.
Depends how much you want it. You can go and get it.
I definitely do think I have some kind of.
Naturally.
I think I think a little bit differently, I guess, and that makes a difference.
Mental
like
aptitude.
Steve Jobs, think different.
Yeah.
Think different.
Like Mark Zuckerberg.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Just,
Suck.
just remember us someday when you.
Okay.
Just remember us behind the keyboard.
I'll
Yeah.
name like some random application after each of you.
Oh.
Send us the 5-cent sponsorship, please.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Jackson, you got any pressing questions about or any I don't know. Another Rick and Morty fucking dialogue.
Rick and Morty, check out the new season because I haven't.
Oh, we're sponsoring Rick and Morty.
We're sponsored Rick and Morty. Yo,
Yeah.
Justin Roiland, what up?
Woo woo woo! Oh jeez. Now I guess well, you and I always talk at work about gaming computers. I'm looking into getting one RGB. That's like
that's the thing.
see.
What is RGB? Like I know it's like
Red, green, blue.
Right, but like I know
They're
that.
pretty colors.
But-
It doesn't do anything for your computer. I just like
You're
to be
admitting that.
drippy. I like to look good. I don't care if things function. I just want to look good doing it. So, but like, yeah,
Pure form over function.
absolutely.
Jackson Snape. All right, I see
Yeah.
you. Sorry if I just doxed you, bro.
But I did it myself. But no, so we got a little schematic build. My friend built it for me. So, I just gotta get the parts and stuff, and it does have RGB, so it's looking good.
So, but when you're saying RGB, are you talking about like an outward red, green, blue physical
It's kind of
appearance?
it's
The
a
fans.
it's an adjective.
Okay.
So you can have a keyboard and you can have an RGB keyboard.
Okay.
RGB keyboard is one that lights up. You can change the colors.
Colored that way? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just means that it has LEDs because LEDs are red, green, and blue.
Okay.
That's how you make color.
So that is the right definition, description.
Yes.
Like
It's an adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an adjective, and it's a code for LEDs.
Yes, basically.
Oh, speaking of computers, while we're on this, I told you about the guy on the Facebook, right? there was this guy, I'm part of this PC building Facebook group, and I don't know if you'll think it's as funny as Aiden and I did, but so he put on like pre-builts, they're good for what you want, but if you're spending, that much, you can get equally as good if you build it yourself.
Or better.
So this guy, you can generally get better if you build it yourself. So this guy was like getting into it. He was like, I don't know if it was a joking post. I don't think it was. He seemed serious. He was like, guys, I got $4,500 to spend. Is this a good pre-built? And I mean, it was like $4,500, and it was like, dude, no. I mean, because at that point, you could buy one that was 10 times better.
Yeah.
Build it yourself. Choose everything you want, top tier for like $3,000, and then put that $1,500 into like
monitor.
You could get an insane OLED
4K
monitor.
OLED.
Yeah.
4K OLED's like $1,200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How big of a screen is that?
I think a 4K OLED's like 28 inches, which is a good bit bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say that's probably
You could
15.
get like
I don't know.
and a curve. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another 200 in a keyboard.
Yeah.
Another
Desk
150 in a
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of funny because I don't know anything about computers, but even I knew. I was like, okay, dude,
You're stupid.
stop.
That budget needs.
Yeah, it was like,
like
it was like, dude, you
more
just got way
tinkering.
too much money.
Unless
to
he's
blow.
using that budget to buy like a desk and a chair and everything else, but
Oh,
It
even
was
that,
just for the
just
PC.
the PC.
It was just the PC. It was a pre-built, and it was like 4,500, and I was like, stop. I didn't comment. I don't get into anything on Facebook. I see so many people commenting. I'm like, I would love to roast you, but I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Yep.
Jackson
That's good.
strictly on the stestoscope.
I am.
I'm with you.
I just listen. It's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it.
Yeah.
So.
Aiden, are you on Facebook? I'm curious.
I only use it for Facebook Marketplace.
Okay, so you
And
have
I'm
an
on
account.
PCs. I have an account.
You're not really.
Because I'm also in the Facebook group for work. so-
Right.
Are you?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow, that's fascinating.
do you think many teenagers are on Facebook? They're not, right?
Not at all.
Like not
I
at
can
all.
tell you that with 100% certainty.
Right. Yeah. Like I remember, like a few years ago.
Yeah,
it was
I
like
remember-
already teenagers weren't really on Facebook.
Yeah, when I was like 13, I wanted a Facebook account.
Me
And
too.
As soon as I was like 15, I was like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It's just for old people.
It is, and that's what really aggravates me. So
Yeah.
Instagram is for like, I guess
Instagram's for millennials.
for
now.
millennials.
That's
and
what it is.
All they do is just post selfies and like Instagram
And
influence
older
stuff.
memes.
Exactly.
And you get reels.
Yes. Yeah. I don't like that stuff. And then Facebook is just for old people to bicker. Like they'll be like,
and do conspiracies.
yes. It's like, guys, do you have anything better to do?
They're
than-
retired. They have nothing else to do.
I guess, but they just sit on their phones and go, okay, this. And what really
They complain
aggravates
about
me.
China tracking their data on TikTok and they're using Facebook.
It's like you don't even use that. And then, like on some of the fishing pages, people will post, a picture of their fish, and instead of commenting and saying, "Hey, nice fish, man," they'll be like, "Look what I got today," and post like their fish, and it's like, dude, just say nice fish, man. Like, don't go like flex.
My fish is better.
Yeah, like it's just old people that do that, and I guarantee you, it's just a bunch of old guys with beards that drive trucks that have never used a turn signal in their life.
Flying a Confederate flag,
Yeah, and it's like, dude, go fish and don't post your picture. No one wants to see your 4-inch bass. Like,
Wow. Go fish and don't post. That's Griddy fish right there. That's interesting.
or it's the people that are like twigging about posting. Like I saw on one of the striped bass pages, the guy posted his picture, but they always blur the background. So you don't know where they caught it, and it's like there's
Gatekeeping
thousands.
fishing spot.
Yeah, no, literally, that's what they do, and it's like there's thousands of miles of fishing. I'll do it too. I'll be like post like McDonald's as the location or something.
Oh, sneaky Jackson.
Oh.
But it's more as a joke. Like these people actually freak out. They'll be like some of my friends I go with, they're like, you can't tell them our spot that we go to. I'm like, dude, fishing is for the public. Like everyone knows about this spot. It's not a big deal. I just don't like. I guess there are some sketch people that'll trash your spot, keep the fish. But it's like there's a whole ocean.
Yeah.
Everyone has the same opportunity of catching the same fish. Like,
Yeah.
it's just funny.
I've only been fishing once in my life.
Oh, well,
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
It was on a boat with my dad and my uncle, and I got seasick and threw up, and then I fell asleep.
How
Oh,
old
wow.
were you?
It's about 8.
Okay.
I thought you said it last year.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Right.
So this is another interesting kind of difference between the three of us having like 3 different levels. Because like if you've been fishing once,
Uh-huh.
like I've been fishing dozens of times.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But not as much as Jackson.
But I haven't been fishing hundreds or thousands of times.
Yeah.
Fine. The most, I think I went 4 times in one day before.
One day?
Uh-huh. Like, I went home, changed, like, grabbed a drink of water, and then I went back out. Fish was like, didn't catch anything. Then I went home, went to a different spot.
Fishing seems fun. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know.
Relaxing.
What do you mean, like?
I don't know, like something, I don't know. Something feels wrong about just hooking a fish in the mouth and then ripping the hook out and throwing it back in the water. That's what makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Do you eat meat?
I do.
Do you eat fish?
Rarely.
Interesting.
My wife doesn't like fish.
So so that's...
Otherwise I would eat it more. But,
Right.
You know.
Okay.
It's, I don't know. It's like, it's weird because like I do eat meat. And I try to buy like, ethically raised beef and meat.
You can find that at your local Trader Joe's, guys.
Yeah.
5-cent sponsorship, please.
Yes.
There's also like I don't know if you guys have ever talked about the distinction between eggs and egg cartons. And
I've
like
not talked about that here.
Cage free and then free range and pasture raised and then regular. They're all different.
Right.
The only good one's pasture raised.
Oh, really?
Is that the one in the Carol's eggs at Trader Joe's?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And the one with like
Those
the
ones sell real
blue
good.
with the white.
Yeah. Those ones are next to the Carol's.
Yeah, because people know. But cage free just means that they're all in a big cage stuffed together. And then free range just requires that they have
can go
1
anywhere.
square foot of space. I think it's 5 square feet of space to walk around in. But that just means that the field's really big, but they're still all packed in the middle.
Wow.
But then pasture is, I think it requires like 125 square feet per chicken.
Oh, wow.
So that's
You
the
get like
difference.
5 chickens a pack.
And it's interesting. I wanted to see one time, so I bought like regular eggs, which are just each chicken's in a cage with a hole underneath it that they lay the egg and it rolls down a tube, and then it gets packaged. And you crack a pasture raised next to a caged egg, and the caged one is like the yolk is almost white, and the pasture raised is like a bright yellow. And like they've done studies, and the pasture raised have like I think it's like 15 times more nutrients.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Because they graze instead of just being fed.
Right.
Yeah.
They're getting the worms and like yeah. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, this
More
might give
grass
us.
to choose from.
What's that?
More grass to choose
More
from.
grass to choose from, seeds, whatever they might be nibbling.
Yeah.
So hopefully this doesn't give us too much whiplash, but I think it's an interesting segue of like think about nutrition and like sourcing our things, and again the future as we talked about earlier. And you're married, so what do you think about having kids? Like, is that something you're interested in, or?
That is an interesting question because I've always said I don't want kids, and I don't want my own kids for sure.
Okay.
I have I have Crohn's disease, which is a 1 in 5 chance for children.
Okay.
It means I get ulcers in my intestines because my immune system attacks my own intestines. That is, what's an ulcer? That's a good.
It's like a sore, right?
It's a sore basically that bleeds and
It's.
Is it like a zit on your intestine?
You ever bite your cheek and then you feel like a hole in your cheek the next day?
Yes.
It's like that.
I'm biting it right now.
Yeah. Like you accidentally bite it and then it hurts really bad and then like it swells up. That's basically kind of like an ulcer.
It's a digestive illness, right?
Yes. Yeah. Technically it's an immune system. What are those called?
Autoimmune.
Autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So my immune system attacks my intestines for some reason.
Okay.
And so it tries to break them down.
So you don't want to pass this on to your own biological children.
I do not.
Yeah.
And a multitude of mental health issues on both sides.
Okay.
So if we ever had kids, we would adopt, and we probably would not adopt a newborn.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Like, but you would adopt rather than foster, or is
Probably.
there? Okay.
Probably. We haven't really. We just don't really want kids. The idea is that I'm going into computer science. I can be remote, and we can move around and travel and do what we want.
Yeah.
And so maybe when we're older, like late 30s, adopt a kid.
Yeah.
But I want to travel. That's kind of my goal.
It's also hard to forecast because for you, late 30s is 20 years away.
Exactly.
So it's like,
it's a little bit more than a lifetime.
What is the end of 2042 going to look like?
Yeah.
Looking at 2043.
Exactly.
And
also the future's pretty uncertain.
Future's uncertain. Don't sip.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were there the other night, but I rang up somebody and the total was 2047.
I remember that.
And I was like, oh, 2047, like that'll be a fun year. Like, totally joking, but it's also like, is that going to be a fun year or is it going to be a hellscape nightmare?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't want to bring someone into the world. I definitely don't want to bring anyone into the world. I think that's my idea.
Yeah.
I could help someone who's already here.
Right. See, so that is pretty similar to my take. Like, I do have that kind of like biological like want and urge to be like, oh, I want children.
Yeah, like I want to see what my kids will look like, you know.
Yeah.
But not enough.
Right, but then there's the like, what do I really want like out of my life?
Yeah.
Who do I want to be?
Yeah.
And so then there's the like, do I really want to be a dad? And then there are times where it's like, oh, I do want to be a dad, and it's like, oh, like maybe I could have 1 or 2 of my own, and then adopt as well. So
True. The other thing is though, like with me going into computer science, I will be making a lot of money, and so I could give multiple kids a very good life. So it's kind of a toss up between a couple kids or like donating or stuff like that. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, and I imagine those answers, or at least guidance toward those answers, will be unfolding through the years.
Yeah.
Because even though we're talking about like 20 years away, 5 years from now, when you're done with college probably, and be like, oh cool, we've already lived in this city and that city and moved a couple times. It's like, now it's time for us to, like some 3 or 4 year old kid or an 8-year-old, 12-year-old, however. I mean, like, we can help this kid out. We can raise it.
I mean, like, I think not even 5 years ago, I was a middle schooler.
Right.
So
that'd be so funny if you adopted like a 17-year-old kid right now.
Yeah. I don't think the court would allow that to happen. Yeah.
Why?
Because they have to approve it, and so they'd be like, "Oh, you're 18, adopting a person 1 year younger than you."
Right.
They just want to be homies. Like you just want like.
But they don't want parents to be homies with the kids.
Like what if you just wanted a friend?
Also, like you adopt a 17-year-old, then in 1 year they're going to be an adult anyway.
Yes, and then they're off your hands. Maybe you become best friends, maybe you don't. Either way.
We're not adopting a child, we're adopting a friend. That's Jackson on the Adopt a Friend program.
I think I should just get a roommate in that case.
Well,
yeah, but this is like a paid roommate.
So
buy your own roommate.
So, and like this is like a funny moment of like, I'm glad we're laughing, but like we do have like a weird like loneliness crisis like in the world. Yeah. And it's like this adopted friend is like such an SNL skit or like Adult Swim skit.
Yeah, it's that's one of the reasons we're moving to Raleigh is it's been so hard to meet people here that we get along with.
Yeah, I mean I can't like Wilmington is a pretty small.
Yes.
It's a small social like
there's a distinct type of people here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really stray very much.
Well, like
on campus there's more types of people.
There are definitely pockets in Wilmington. Like here's the art crowd, here's like the fishing crowd, here's like the surfer crowd, here's like the vapid young person going out crowd.
Yeah.
You can find your nerds, you can find whatever you need to find, but it's not going to be like a big city. Like it's not a big city.
Yeah, exactly.
And
like,
Raleigh's
a big city. I mean it's the densest city in the state.
Right.
Charlotte's the biggest.
Yeah, and it's also got sprinkles of Durham. And
I mean it's the triangle.
It's the triangle.
Yeah, it's another reason she got some of the best doctors in the world there.
Right.
And so I have to be in the hospital every 8 weeks. So it's like if I have to get an infusion every 8 weeks for medication.
Okay.
And like I have to meet with a gastroenterologist every 6 months.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of good resources in Raleigh.
Right.
With so many medical schools, like you have Wake Forest and Duke and all these different ones. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we were able to do this before you might be taken off in a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because it might be posted by the time.
Like this episode probably isn't going up in 2022.
Yeah.
Like so.
How often do you guys upload?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Okay.
Today we have one. Well,
we have one on deck that we were working on. Yeah.
It'll be in 5 minutes.
5.
Okay.
Well, like it should in 5 minutes ago. But
we're time traveling.
Yeah.
Right now, we're traveling through time.
So we'll see you next year.
We'll see you next year.
Well, we are
going to see each other.
But then when they see this, they'd be like, "Whoa, not
they're seeing this right now."
They're seeing this right now.
Yeah.
But they're also seeing it next year.
Someone's probably like sitting on the toilet right now.
That's like on the verge of like Rick and Morty trippiness.
Yeah.
You are also time traveling.
We should like name someone right now.
We should what?
Guess someone's name that's watching right now.
I bet Karen is watching this. Hi, Karen.
Oh, hi, Karen.
Who else might be? Chris. Mate, Chris, what up?
Yes,
got some
we
fish.
appreciate it.
Got some fish in here for you, Chris.
I would like you to come join us on the podcast one day, Chris. I want to talk fishing with you.
And then
we'll do a fishing
it's probably like some random guy named Andrew. That's what I'm feeling.
Who's Andrew?
Just some guy that's watching.
I have
a viewer.
What up, Andy Drew?
Andy. I wonder if anyone I know named Andrew might ever watch this.
Yeah. Or just like some random guy I found it on YouTube, and he's like.
Actually, bet Kanye's gonna watch it.
There it is.
We could talk about Kanye.
We could talk about Kanye. I think we just landed in our Kanye moment. Let's talk some Kanye. I think we're still rolling. We're rolling. This is like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, Kanye. What are we gonna say about Kanye?
I mean, yesterday he...
Again?
Yesterday again. He said likes Hitler and how Hitler's a good guy.
Not on Alex Jones.
No.
Okay, different.
Not this time. It's a different podcast.
Different reiteration.
Yeah, this time he's wearing a
Was
mask.
he looked goofy.
He's
like,
wearing
take
this,
that
like,
off.
He's wearing this, like, black mask.
Yeah, and he has little, like,
It's
zippers over his eyeballs.
Yeah.
So you can't even see anything. And, like, honestly, like, I saw some of the comments on it. They were like, yeah, all he has to do is just say, oh, that wasn't me. That was someone else that is a mess. Because, like,
Of course.
that's something he would do. Just like, oh, yeah, guys, that
Except,
wasn't
you
me.
know, him tweeting a swastika and all that. And then getting banned again. And
He's a sketchy dude.
he's very mentally ill.
Are you losing your fandom and affinity for him?
It's funny. Avery at work asked me that the other day because I brought it up. I was like, Kanye or something. I don't know. And then she was like, oh, do you like him? I was like, yes. And then I was like, well, let me get back to this.
Wait.
I don't like what he's saying now. I like his music and I like his shoes. It's about to the extent.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think he's
And
lost his
now
mind.
that, well, it was Adidas that like,
Cut him. And then Gap cut him because he had the Easy Gap. And then...
So he's not even like, I mean, Yeezys are like limited edition now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but we still rock them.
Yeah.
And then...
I wonder if they'll lose value.
No, they'll go up because you can't get them anymore. And they're already a hype shoe. Like the Nikes.
I was wondering if like his name would kind of taint them.
No.
Somebody will
Like Travis,
value that.
like
That's
Travis Scott, when the people died at the
Yeah.
concert, everyone was freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, my Travis Scott's gonna be worth nothing. They're gonna be bricks.
Yeah.
There's still a few $1,000s. Like, you're
Okay.
not getting your hands on a pair. Like,
Okay.
they said, you know, like the one that Johnny has the replicas of. You probably have seen but not realized it. He got some replicas of them. The reverse mochas. They came out like 2 months ago. There was on the sneakers app. I saw something. There was 3.7 million entries to get them.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
To enter
To be able to buy them.
to be able to buy them. I mean, that's like mind-boggling. 3.7 people wanted to just spend $160,
Yeah.
but to make a couple thousand. But yeah, it was, and I was one of those people that entered and lost because I think there was 60,000 pairs. So I mean, you had so small of a chance.
So wait, Johnny got replicas of these?
Yeah, so-
Not the shoe.
No.
Okay.
So they wouldn't actually be worth anything.
Which
It's
is
only
actually-
for the drip.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's basically a stock market.
which is actually a really fascinating subject. How do you guys feel about replicas? I know you're not like care too much about shoes.
Depends on if you're. I mean, if I really don't think the average person will know.
Okay.
I mean, if it's like if you're wearing them just because you think they look cool,
That's
I
fine.
think replicas are fine.
Good.
But if you're trying to like
Resell
show
them.
off to a sneakerhead,
Yeah.
then no.
If you're
Like,
trying to sell
you're
them
not
as
gonna
real,
fool them.
that's where it gets wrong.
Yes.
Then you're scamming. That's illegal. Not cool. But if you're wearing them and you say, you know, yes, these are replicas, you're fine. But if
Yeah.
you say, oh yeah, dude, I paid, you know,
Yeah, that's
$2,000.
stupid. That's like wearing
dumb.
a fake chain or like a fake watch.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, oh, let's check your ice, and like, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
So I think we're stumbling into circling back to the AI art because it's like if you're fraudulently putting something
yeah,
out
that's
there,
true.
Yeah.
like, and if you say, "Oh, this
Wait.
is AI art," and it's like, "Wow, it's beautiful," versus
But-
the guy saying, "I did this,"
Uh-huh.
when really
Here's
he
this.
just kind of.
But did
what
he
if
do
he
it? That's
what
the
if he
question.
built the robot that did the art?
He
That's
didn't. Yeah.
But if you do, I think that's where it'd be okay.
But the thing is, the way that the AI is trained is it uses art from all over the internet, and so it
Mm.
uses
Oh, that's
this art.
plagiarism.
It's not plagiarism though, because think about it. Like if you're using components to make something else, it's like if you're drawing reference from multiple books that inspire your book, you're not stealing everyone's
As long
book.
as you cite it, though, right? Because you're.
I mean, he would have to cite the entire internet.
I'm writing a book and I ain't citing shit. That's what I'm going to tell you right now.
Plagiarize.
Plagiarism. It's
Hey,
not plagiarism.
No,
Bro.
as long as you use easybib.com, it'll be on. An MLA
We're
format.
plugging EasyBib right now.
Yeah, easybib, link in description.
Yo, easy bit, 5-cent sponsorship.
Woo! Dude,
Oh
we're
my-
racking up this money.
We're racking up
We
sponsors.
might have a quarter by the end of this.
Oh my
Quarter
gosh.
bill.
All right. We don't have to be over it.
Wow.
Obviously, we're just rolling, but I think maybe it's time to
Yeah.
be like, hey, Much love.
Thanks for watching, guys. Peace and love.
And thank you, Aiden.
Catch you next week.
Applause for Aiden on the way
Aiden.
out. Oh, ooh, ah, oh, oh.
Well done,
That's
well
beautiful.
done.